Hi guys, it's been a long time and I just have a new case for you here. This is the MSi MAG, that's Meg Forge 111R gaming case. MSI have three numbers for this same case. They have 110R, 111R and 112R, and the only differences from this case is just the 112R has an RGB fan included. Basically all of them comes with RGB fan in the rear but not in the front, but the 112 has an RGB fans in the front. As you know, I just like to go in depth into this case to show you what they have included, and so if you're trying to open it up or you're trying to get into it, you can have easy access to it by following the video guide here. Some of these videos usually take long. I try to cut them into short sizes, but I end up not being able to do that, not be able to express myself to talk about what I want to talk about the case. So this is the Meg Forge 111, that is 111R. They have R in the board. I'm going to show you around the case before we get into it. First, if you look at the front, it's a mesh front which enable airflow, good airflow. It allows good airflow. The side is block where they have the MSI Shield Dragon logo in front of it. On this side of the case is the panel, that is the temple glass, and this is covered down here, and they have some nice design going here with just the Meg logo here and some nice tinted design, mostly in darker black. The feet is nice and rubber, and there's enough ventilation space under for the ventilation. Back here, I'm going to talk about these before we start going into it. There's only one way to use your GPU. There's no horizontal, vertical. There's just the horizontal one, and the power goes here and stuff like that. Then we have the dark side here. So that is it. And on top, if you can see, those are the eye hole. We will come back to that. And there's a mesh panel for you, which is magnetic. It goes on top, and there's another mesh panel under which is not magnetic, but there's a way for you to slide it in, and whereby this is for your RGB cage to be moved front and back. First, I'm gonna do the peeling. Yeah, we get out of the way, and this is the mesh glass. So first thing first, how do you get into the front? This time around, I'm gonna like go much in depth and show you. There's a hole down here whereby you can, if you can see on camera, you can put your hand there, even though you put your thumb to push it up. But if you have this system loaded up, it might be too heavy for you. So there's a hole down there on your table. Put your hand under, hold the top so that it doesn't fly away, and pull it out. It doesn't need too much of energy, and when you're pulling it out, just be careful. By the time you try to pull it back, be careful of these pins. There are 8 of them all around holding this front panel to the case. Don't break them. When you get them breaking, it's going to be a little bit difficult to close your tape. They are very fragile, as all the cases are. So this is the mesh. I would like to paint it into another color because you can easily remove it if you want to paint it. So first, with the mesh, this is a ABS plastic they use to make the front, and this is metal. So this is aluminum. It's metal, sorry, not aluminum, and it is being hooked into the front with some slide angles here in the front. So these actually are removable. Pull them up in case you like to clean it. Just pull them off. I don't have a close shot of it, but I believe it's easy to see. They are all over. They have about, let me count it, 1 2 3 4 here, making a total of 8 on the side. And they have down here, they've got 2, and they got 3 here. try to look for a screwdriver to be able to push it out, and you just push it out. You know, it's not gonna get breaking. It's made of metal. That's a mesh. Yeah, you just push it out gently, and there you have it. There you have it. So in case you're trying to spray this into another different color, you can just remove it out from here. I don't have a spray paint. I would have loved to do one on video now, but probably when we're doing our next case review, I might have a spray paint to be able to do that. So that is the mesh front, and this is the frame. This is ABS plastic they used to make it. If you don't like the logo, you can peel it off, or you cover this front with something else to make it nice. Pushing it back, pulling it back is not very difficult. Also, just align it according to each other. You need to look at it when one side is in, you see. When you have one side in, you can try to close them first, so that you can be able to align the other ones. Just be careful. Oh, okay. You can, yeah, that's why I said you should try to close one, put it on the table, set them into their order, and just, yeah, push them down. I should have done this, put it on the table and do it in the first place to make it not falling down. So it's not very difficult to push them back for anyone. Like, I believe you have the opportunity to customize your case with your own liking. So just try to do some little things by yourself without spending too much of money and giving it to somebody to do the customization for you. So when you push it in, try to close the ones here first, and try to minimize the number of times you go inside to do this, because they get soft. The more you open and close it every time, they do get soft, and it may get broken off. But don't worry, the other ones can still hold it in place, and you have everything back into their respective places. I would like to paint this maybe later, not now, and maybe I can show you if you're interested in it, and you can see what it looks like. So this is the front panel. You can get it off, paint this color. It's easier to paint, and stick a sticker or something like this for here to give it your own look or own design. So I'm gonna put this one aside. Now the tempo glass is just thumbnail screws. You can just remove them. I'm gonna put them in a safe place. Oh, they are very difficult, so I need a screwdriver. I'll be back. So they were a little bit tight. I had to get some set of screwdriver to loosen up. You can use both stars and flathead screwdriver to get them up. They were tighter. I couldn't lose them with my hand, so I just have to pick up a screwdriver. So you can as well get a screwdriver close to you. They were just being held on to by just this, so they fall off immediately. You try to remove it, so don't forget, hold it up, try to hold it, that is the glass, and so that it doesn't fall. It's a little bit tinted, it's not totally white, so it's a little bit of a tinted dark glass, so it will bring out the RGB, making it pop out. Here we have that. I haven't seen any sticker from the MSi. These are just the manual from the forge, and these are shout outs and stuff like that, and that for the MSi quick installation guide. Everything is there. Is it that is the front panel, everything is out. I'm gonna remove the back, which is also a thumbnail. This is not very difficult to remove. basically everything fall off. There's nothing hooking it or holding it to the panel, and you just remove it. This is basically metal, a sheet of metal. It's not very flimsy like some other ones, so it's a little bit stronger, so good. They have that. They have the magnetic mesh I told you about for the top ventilation. I'm gonna put that one aside also. And under here is also the net, but no magnetic. It's just you have to hook it to some rails over there to hold it. I put that aside also. And so that is basically, oh, we have the hard drive cage. The hard drive cage has two plastic cage trays. They have two of them for two HDD, and you can also insert SDD also in this cage, so you can have a total of 3 SDDs or 2 HD drives and 1 SD drive, or you can have it in whichever way you want, but you can have 3 SD drive without HDD, so either way you have it there. The cover for the, we got the screws for the motherboard in here. That's all the screws. And you have an extra 2 shade in case you lost the one that comes with it. You have 2 extra, some zip ties to be specific, 5 zip ties, and screws for motherboard and hard drives. Everything in this small bag. So I'm gonna put that one aside also, so we don't start looking for them later. So like I said, this is made of plastic, so it can get breaking. Be careful. We can also remove the hard drive cage. Unfortunately, if you have a big power pack, you can only slide it into just 2 ways. You can move it to this side a little bit, but you have to go under to remove the 4 screws that are included under to hold them down. So many screws, not actually toolless. You need your tools to be able to work with. But I believe it's compact, but there's gonna be enough space for your power pack. No matter how long is it, there's enough space for it, and there's enough space for you to work on the cable of the power pack because there's enough space here. So that is it for the under there, and this is the cage for the hard drive, which you can only mount 2 hard drives and stuff like that there. Before we go on, like I said, there's one included fan. This is the included fan. This is an RGB fan also. Where I am now, I don't have a motherboard to use to show you what kind of motherboard it does use. Everything is falling off. My screwdriver is not magnetic, so everything is just falling off they go. Oh, I'm able to get this too. Okay, this is from MSi. It's a 12 volt DC 0.15A. That's amp fan. It's RGB. I don't know how good it is, but it's a little bit quiet. It's not very loud. I've checked it before, so it's not very quiet. You can acquire the same fan from MSi to put in the front here. So that gets me to number of fans that can be used in this case. You can have 3 120 fans in the front, then 2 120 fans on top, and with the 1 included in the back. And when you go to 140, you can only have 2 140 in the front and 1 140, 2 140 on top also, and 1 in back. So that will be a total of 4 140s, and we have 1 120, which is included. And if you're going for 120, you're gonna have 5 of them plus the 1 in back, making it 6. So I'm not sure if you can lay any fans down here on the shred top, but if you can find a way to, it will be nice, because there's all vent just here, so there's enough ventilation, airflow for this case, which is really very nice. Good thing about this case Outdoor actually is the size it takes on your table. If you look at it, it doesn't consume too much space. It's very, very narrow, not a little bit wide, not wider than the other cases. It baffles me in 2022, whereby most of these companies that design cases, they refuse to include a USB-C up in front here on top for you to be able to connect directly to USB-C, because basically every motherboard that comes out now has a USB-C header on the motherboard. Basically almost all of them, if not all. And yeah, they are included in behind of the case, but how many times do you have to go to reach behind to be able to connect your USB-C device when they can actually include one in front here, and they refuse not to for one reason we all don't understand. This case is under $50, so maybe because of that reason it's less than 50. That may be the only reason why they didn't include it, but I don't see how that is much difficult for them to include, or how expensive it will get for them to include. But unfortunately, this case doesn't have you covered when it comes to that. So we have only two USB-A type C, type A, two USB, yeah, you see, and now I'm looking for USB-C type C, two USB 3.0 Gen 1 connector here. And it only it's fast enough, but not typically very fast. It's just type 1. We have the first one, which is the earphone and the mic. So the mic goes to the first one, the second one is for the earphone. We got a reset button and the power button design in the MSi Shield design. And there's this first one here. This actually is for the RGB light, for you to circle around the different settings on the RGB light. So that was what this one is designed for here. Then let's go and talk about the LED switch and the motherboard behind it. So this is the switch for pressing the LED, the RGB LED light. Now let's go to the board. So I did talk about the reset button on top, and that actually goes to here. This is the LED switch panel, so we can call it the control panel. So basically what this does is it's control the LED included in this system. So, but something I don't understand is this. The computer complaints now have a USB-C or USB header on your motherboard. Usually have two. But MSi decided to just use the RGB, addressable RGB header to control to the motherboard, rather than connecting it to the USB-C header on the motherboard, which will be able to work with most softwares, and you can actually control this small panel with that. So now it's just that whatever you have to do has to be controlled with the RGB light, but well, it's not a problem. You can still do that, and you just connect to one of the RGB header in your motherboard. This one is for the SATA. It connects to the SATA. That is the power for it to be able to power this board. And like I said, this is the addressable RGB, which is 3-pin, not the 4-pin. The 4-pin is the RGB, and this 3-pin is addressable RGB. So that is what these two connect to. You see this one on top? This is labeled LED. That is what goes up to the top to this controller over here. So when you press it, it circles through the setting, the presetting that is included on your motherboard, and it circles rounds to change the RGB flashing or whatever the RGB is going to be doing. So then there are 6 addressable RGB, that is ARGB header on this board, which you can control. But if you can see, the first one is already connected to the fan behind you, but they had this. I'm gonna bring it out so you can see it well. The fan that comes included has an extension which you can see. So this one control connects to there, and you still have an extra one you can connect another RGB, which can give you a total of 7 fans that this little board can control. So for you to be able to have 7 fans, you have to include another fan from any other way, because like I said, only 2 can go on top and 3 in the front and 1 behind, which is 6. So if you're trying to control striped light, you know, the LED stripe, if you want to use that, then definitely this is going to be useful for you to connect the LED stripe into your casing system, which is great and nice. For anyone that basically, this come connected from out of the box, but in case for one reason or the other is not connected, I can show you how to do that. You see, they are just cables. This one is for the USB, that's the USB-C type A. This one is for your control panel, which you can see, which is many, and this is for your audio. So those are the normal 3 you see with every case. So you can see this other one that is included, which is much lighter and much slimmer and one smaller, and LED is written on top. That one goes on top here. You just click it on top there and it's ready to work. So whenever you press this button, the RGB or the LED or whatever is on your system, fans will start going into the next preset switch that is included there. So that is for that. It's removable. If you don't want it, you can get it out of there. It's removable. And here we have a plate. If you're wondering what the plate is for your hard drive, SSD, mini HDD, that is the 2.5 or SSD. You put it here, it's easy to put it, you put it on top and it's there, you put it there. It's good, it's a nice feature to have. I don't know why it's there, but it's a nice feature to have. At least you have a way to remove it without having to dismantle everything from the computer. So basically that is everything with the case. Like I said, if you're trying to paint it, this also can be removed. I've done it in some other videos. I don't see any reason why I should remove it now unless there's more requests for removing it. So this is the MSi MAG Forge case. And I did talk about the GPU earlier on. I think I made a mistake there talking about vertical and horizontally. To be honest with you, if you look from the back, vertical is not possible in this case. It's only horizontal, so you cannot do vertical GPU mounting on this case unless you have another way to mount the vertical. Maybe possible you can buy a vertical extension and find a way to put it inside. Wow, this is stiff. Let me see. There isn't enough space. Like, yeah, you see there isn't enough space. But if you like DIY, you could cut it off and you mount a vertical there for people that love DIY. But the space isn't that much big, but it's the melter here is not so difficult to cut off. If you like DIY, you can remove it and mount it here. But as far as it comes for people that don't like DIY-ish, that's not possible. You can only get it horizontal here, no vertical mounting of GPU. Cooling layout for this case is really great. Like I told you, you have a mesh for the front. You have a mesh panel for good airflow. You can even see my face directly from the mesh. I believe you can see me, if not very clearly, but well. So the holes are not very small, they are well vented. So you can actually put 3 120 fans. Be careful when you're putting this back, don't break the clips. If you break the clips, you are in soup. So as you can see, it's not terrible. With 3 fans in front there, you have a lot of intakes. And I would advise you to look for a quiet fan, because when there are too much of it, there's a space between the fan and the panel, so it's not going to have a friction of too much of sound, but it's good when you have it there. But I wouldn't be able to say too much about dust, because the holes are really big that dust can get in very easily. So dust might get in, then you have to clean your fans on a regular basis. Liquid cooler can also work in this case. You can have the radiator in front here. The long one can do. The 180, 160, 140, 120, they all can work in front here, which will be a nice addition to it. You can have them there. And on top, you can have the 120 radiator, and not very, I think slimmer. It wouldn't affect your motherboard. But like I said, I don't have enough motherboard I don't have motherboard here to even use to show you, because I have other cases and other system. I'm in a different location, so don't let's talk too much about that. So putting the case back is not very difficult. Like I said, you just have to put back the fans, which doesn't take time. So why I assemble back the case, I'm gonna talk about what I think about this case. This case is nice. It has enough cooling potential, which means you can find a good way to cool whatever components you have in your system. It's not very difficult to get fresh air in. The front can be intakes, the top can be exhaust, while the rear one can also be exhaust. It's just nice size to be on your table. The metal is great, it's not terrible, so I wouldn't be complaining about it either. So like I said, the fan, this goes here. Having a controller, a board to control your RGB fan is also a good plus. And yes, they gave us one included fan, but if you want the one that is with 4 RGB fans, 4 addressable RGB fans that they are the same fans, you can hop in for the 1112 series, which is the 1112R. You can go for that. This has differences of about I don't remember, but I think it's about 12, about 10, 20 for the differences in price. If you're looking to set up a new computer, or you're looking to upgrade your case, I can recommend this, that you can get it. For those of you that will be getting yourself an upgrade, that you're interested in getting a new case, I'm gonna have an Amazon link down there. Try to use our link to get your products, and we get some commission that goes towards us. It doesn't actually reduce anything or add to your purchase, but this is just a commission Amazon gives to us, and you can just use that and subscribe. A lot of you did not subscribe, or a lot of you have not subscribed. Try to subscribe, guys. Your subscription is gonna help us, and I thank you in advance for your subscription. I'm putting back the case so you can see how easy to put it back in case of someone was asking. Oh, I forgot to drive the bail. So somebody asked me how to put them back. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting it back into the way they came from. So if you're trying to put the back your case, or you're trying to have a build in it and you're trying to close it back, I'm not returning the case. I'm just putting it back for people that love to see how to put it back. That easy. In just some few minutes, everything is being assembled back. To the way it was. My screwdriver is making noise. We have this, which was just laying inside here. The panel, the glass. Check something out. There's this foam. There's this foam here that helps you with the glass so it doesn't eat against the melter that is there. So they have this there. It's soft, smushy, but this is a problem. It doesn't hold. But anyway, that is that. Oh. Be careful not to break the glass. Don't be like me and go break your glass. Don't. One screw in will hold the glass in into place, and you can now screw in the other one. I just put 2 screws for the fans. I'll do that by putting them later when I'm done with this video. But just to show you how to assemble back your case, because when you dismantle it, you need to assemble it back. And the mesh that goes under, don't forget it. It will cover there for you and prevent dust from going into your power units. So guys, so that is the case. Cable management is really great because there's enough space in between the back cover and the motherboard back. And what are the reasons why you need to buy this case if you're interested in it to build your first PC, or you want to change from one case to another? My own reason to buy this case is very great. The price is really great. It's affordable, under 60 or even under 50 pounds is affordable. And the timer is the performances of the cooling, the airflow is very great. It's gonna like save you a lot of, and it's a great size for saving space. I wouldn't say that much. It saves a lot of, this is a normal IKEA table, 120 centimeter table from IKEA, and you can see it's safe. Oh, I can put it, this is my fractal design behind me. If I put it beside the fractal design, I'm not sure you can see, so there's enough clearance there, you can see. So it's not totally crazy wide. It saves space on your table. But the reason to avoid this case, the material they used to build it could be better. So if you have a great case, if you have a great case, and the melter of those cases are really great, the material could be improved. They just include one RGB fan. I wish those RGB fan were PWM, you know, those that can be controlled, but they aren't. They're just 3-pin fans. And I wish, why they included the RGB board, they can actually include the fan controller board. That is to be able to control those fans to a controller, to a board behind it, like the RGB, so you don't have to start putting all your fans on the motherboard, and make it a PWM controller. And no USB-C in 2022. I wish they have gone for something like that. So if you plan to get one, like I said, there's a great deal on it. Don't forget to use our links below. And thank you for your time and checking it out. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry the video has to be long because I want to just say everything I want to say about it. I don't have a motherboard to show you how the motherboard looks, but thank you for being here, and I'll see you. You can check out some of the other videos somewhere after this, or in as I'm talking now. Videos are there. Check out our other videos, and I will see you in the next video. Odabo.